with me as we get all of our connections synced. For those of you that just tuned in on YouTube, we are getting ready for our digital face yoga class with Sophia Ha. So I'll wait for people to start joining the live here. We'll give it a few moments. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Everyone's sound is good. To start ourselves off, I'm Erica Schwass. I'm the Science and Wellness Manager here at Continent Skincare, and I'm very excited to be introducing you to one of our wellness professionals that we work with here at Continent. So for those of you that are brand new to Continent, we are a Toronto-based company, and we specialize in 100% natural, clinically proven skincare products. So products that are free from harmful chemicals, we don't add any scents to our products, and it provides clinically proven results, which means that you do not need to compromise when you're switching to natural skincare. So we also recognize as a company that great skin comes from more than just the products that you apply. We know that eating a healthy diet, moving your body, having good mental health, and practicing techniques that incorporate with a good regimen is the key to discovering your best skin. So with that, we provide our amazing products, but we also love partnering with wellness professionals that are experts in their field. So it is my great pleasure to introduce you tonight to Sophia Ha, who is a Toronto-based wellness practitioner who specializes in face yoga. So without further ado, here is Sophia Ha, who will be leading us through our digital face yoga class tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica. And hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. So very excited to do this workshop today. So first I want to sort of start off with, hello, my name's Sophia Ha. And I want to start off with a little bit about what face yoga is in short. So for those of you that have been following on Instagram, you probably have a bit of a gist, but just to reiterate again, face yoga is a form of facial exercise that is yoga-like in nature. So lifestyle, self-awareness, and conscious breathing are key elements of the practice, okay? Now, before we actually get into the exercises and the fundamentals of face yoga, I want to briefly talk to you a little bit about my journey and how I got here today. So I'm 34. I was 28, so 6 years ago when I found face yoga, and I was extremely stressed out, quite depressed, to the point that I really couldn't look at myself. Every time I looked in the mirror, all I could see was this gigantic line I developed right across my forehead. Being only 28, I was pretty concerned, so I started Googling like crazy, trying to find, natural solutions. And of course, I found face yoga, and initially I was quite skeptical, but I decided to give it a go. So I tried it for 4 weeks, and quite literally by the 28th day, the line across my forehead had completely disappeared. So from that moment, I was entirely hooked and jumped right on board to be a face yoga coach. And here I am years later getting to share this fantastic tool with you guys. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about how we age. Okay, there are two things generally that we see most when we age. The first is fine lines and wrinkles. The other is sagging skin. Okay, so generally we see fine lines and wrinkles. We see them across the forehead. We see them at the crow's feet. We see them between the eyebrows. And then when it comes to sagging skin, we really see our cheeks begin to drop. We see the jowls develop right over here, or the dreaded double chin. Okay. So when it comes to wrinkles, wrinkles are predominantly created by the habitual use of the same facial muscles over and over and over again. So a really great example of that is those really stubborn lines, right between your eyebrows from furrowing your brow. Okay. And that can come about from really being quite stressed out. It can be simply from being hyper-focused on your screen or your phone. Okay. So again, lines and wrinkles are created by the habitual use of the same facial patterns or the same muscles being activated over and over and over again. Again, another great example was the line across my forehead from constantly lifting our eyebrows. Okay. When it comes to sagging skin, that is a combination of gravity, a loss of collagen, and not using particular facial muscles efficiently or frequently enough. Okay, so again, we generally see that in the neck area as well as the cheek areas because A, we don't use our cheek muscles very often, and these muscles, particularly in the front of the neck, really barely get used because most of the time we're on our phone looking down. So what that's doing is it's actually shortening the muscles here. And poor posture is actually a direct correlation to a double chin. Okay, so something for you guys to really start paying attention to. As I mentioned at the beginning of this, face yoga is a combination of exercises, self-awareness, and lifestyle. And these three things really, really tie into each other. The exercises on their own are simply not enough. It's really about being able to recognize what your particular facial patterns are so that you can actually stop them from being created on a regular basis. So a great example, again, is when you're at the computer, start checking in with yourself. Start recognizing, are you furrowing your brows? Are you potentially clenching your jaw? What kind of a facial expression do you have throughout the day? And what are your particular triggers? Meaning, if you know that every time you look on your phone, you're furrowing your brow, that's a really, really good indicator that every time you go on the phone, you really want to be conscientious that you're not actually furrowing your brows, okay? When it comes to the elements of face yoga, we've got lifestyle and self-awareness. So we're touching a little bit right now on self-awareness. I really like to reiterate to my clients how key it is to really check in with yourself. Now, you might think like that it seems like a lot, but checking in with yourself as much as once an hour is actually what you want to be doing. And when you're checking in with yourself, you're not only just checking in what's going on with your facial expression, but I also want you to start paying attention to what's going on with your posture. Are you curving your shoulders forward? Are they coming forward? Is your head jutting forward from the neck? And again, we really want to be cognizant of this posture because poor posture is in direct correlation to a double chin. It can also create issues in the jaw area like TMJ. And also, if you're somebody that's at a desk all day that has really tight shoulders and neck, you can bet your bottom dollar that you likely have some kind of tension in the jaw area, or you potentially suffer from something like migraines and headaches, okay? So with that being said, we're going to get into a couple exercises very, very soon, but I want to explain to you guys how facial exercise, face yoga actually works, okay? So we have resistance exercises as well as relaxation exercises. Just like if you were to go to the gym, there are moments to stretch things out, and there are moments to actually lift and really, really work with that muscle, okay? So when it comes to the facial muscles, what we want to be doing is we really want to focus on releasing the muscles that are being hyperactive, and we want to create resistance exercises for the muscles that are being underused, okay? So a really good example is, let's say if you guys are gym fanatics, or us like guys and gals, I'm not sure how many guys are here and how many girls are here. So let's say you wanted to go to the gym and you were particularly concerned about wanting to tone up your arms, but perhaps you're having a really tight shoulder. So your shoulder's up here. Do you think it would make sense to go to the gym and start working out like this? No, it wouldn't at all. In fact, it would just create more problems for you, okay? So face yoga combines releasing exercises as well as resistance exercises. So let's say we had somebody come in today and their main concern was the 11 lines. Again, the lines from furrowing their eyebrows. Do you guys think, and I know I'm not going to be able to see your answers just yet, so you can just answer to yourself in your head. Do you guys think that we would do a releasing exercise or a resistance exercise? If your answer was releasing, that is correct. Why? Again, we're needing to release the muscles that are being habitually used over and over and over again. Okay. When it comes to resistance exercises, we really want to hone in on the muscles that are not being used frequently. So again, in the cheek area as well as in the neck area. We want to really, really strengthen those muscles. So again, face yoga combines both relaxation exercises with resistance exercises. However, it's very important to know what kind of exercises you need and for what part of your face. Okay. So I want to briefly touch on the lifestyle aspect, okay? So for those of you that work out often, you know that if you have a particular goal in mind, let's say it's losing 10 pounds in the next, 3 months, okay? So 10 pounds in 3 months is your goal. So let's say you're going to the gym 5 days a week and you're doing everything, you're drinking water, you're sleeping enough hours, you're sleeping 8 hours a night, yet every other day you end up at McDonald's. Or let's say every day after your workout, you end up at McDonald's. Even though you're doing everything you can otherwise, aside from your diet, in order to lose that 10 pounds, you're really doing yourself an injustice because you're putting all that really, really hard work in the gym to waste, right? Wasting it with all of that junk from McDonald's, okay? So lifestyle is really, really key when it comes to face yoga. Again, the exercises on their own are not enough. If your posture is out of whack all day and you're furrowing your eyebrows all day, and then you come home and for 3 minutes a day you relax and you start doing the exercises, well, you're certainly getting more benefit than if you weren't doing the exercises whatsoever, but you're not getting the same benefit as if you were actually taking care of all the other lifestyle aspects, okay? So, A, drinking enough water, at least 2 liters of water a day. Okay, it might seem like a lot, it's not. If you are working out on a regular basis, you should be hitting at least 3 liters of water a day. A lot of my clients have been turned over to drinking warm water or hot water. And the reason is that warm or hot water is much, much easier for our bodies to absorb and hydrate much more efficiently than cold water. Okay, think about any time you've ever drank really, really freezing cold water. Everything closes up, your throat as well as your stomach. So you can really quite literally only take in as much. You might end up with brain freeze. But the point is that you can quite literally only consume so much at once. And not only that, your actual response in your body, all your organs do this, okay? They clench up, okay? So drinking warm water is the best thing for hydration, particularly right now in wintertime, okay? Another thing, just last but not least, touching on lifestyle, is diet, okay? I'm not sure, again, how many people we have watching us right now. I've got Erica behind the screen, but looks like we've got quite a few people. So I'm assuming that a lot of you potentially drink caffeine at least once a day. It's pretty common. Perhaps you're drinking alcohol at least once a week. Maybe it's more than once a week. Maybe you do, happy hour every other night or so. Refined sugar, caffeine, as well as alcohol, and of course, refined sugar is in alcohol as well, are all things that we really want to avoid because they are massively dehydrating to the skin. Now, I initially started by saying predominantly wrinkles and lines are created by the habitual use of the same muscles over and over again. And that is our main concern. It's true. Those are the deepest lines that are being created. However, when it comes to hydration as well, you really want to make sure that you don't start developing dehydration lines, because over time, if you're not hydrating efficiently enough, what happens is those very fine dehydration lines become static. Okay, and they're much more challenging to get rid of. A last little note on lifestyle, and something to just think about, okay, is how many of you are actually sleeping on your side? Okay, it's usually a good majority of you. So what I want you to start paying attention to is when you start waking up from sleeping on the side, I want you to start looking at your face right away and start noticing what lines are being developed, because what happens over many, many years of sleeping in the exact same position, particularly on our side, is our skin folds onto ourselves. You see that? And it creates these diagonal lines, which we cannot create naturally because we can't create an expression this way. Okay. So I want you guys to start paying attention to the way you sleep. Ideally, if you can sleep on your back, that is the best thing, not only for your face, but also for your neck. And please don't forget that your face, your head, is not separate from the rest of your body. Everything is interconnected. So if you're sleeping on your side and your neck is a bit jacked, let's say on the left side, you can bet your bottom dollar that you might also experience tension throughout the left side of your head, okay? Generally, wherever we carry tension in the body, okay, is the same side that we will carry tension on the face, and often it can actually end up showing up as asymmetry, okay? So just to reiterate, face yoga is incorporating 3 things: lifestyle, self-awareness, as well as the actual exercises. But if somebody were to ask me, well, what's the most important part of face yoga? The most important part, hands down, is the self-awareness factor. And again, the reason is the only way that you can properly retrain your facial muscles. Don't forget, we've been doing the same facial expressions for years, since we were kids, okay? The only way to properly retrain those facial muscles is to become aware of how and when you're using them so we can really stop those patterns from happening, okay? So with that being said, we're gonna get into some of these exercises, but I wanna brief over the fundamentals of face yoga, okay? So we know now that lifestyle, self-awareness, as well as the exercises are the three main elements, the self-awareness factor being the number one. And the reason it's the number one as well is it also ties directly into lifestyle. It's not just about knowing what's going on with your face. This self-awareness sort of check-in helps with every aspect of your life, including knowing what you're doing right for your body, as well as what you could be improving on in regards to your lifestyle, okay? So with that being said, we're gonna get into some exercises. There are just a few things I want you guys to keep in mind, okay? So for those of you that practice yoga regularly, you know the importance of breath, okay? So throughout this workshop, I really want you guys to be cognizant that you're not holding your breath. I don't want you to control your breath. I don't want you to overly think about it. I just want you to make sure that you are breathing and allow your natural rhythm of breath, okay, to dictate the rhythm of your movement, okay? The next thing that I want you guys to really pay attention to is your posture. So unless I say otherwise, I really want you guys to make sure that your chest is as open as possible, that your shoulders are down, okay? And that we're not hunching forward and that you're not bringing your head out from your neck, okay? So we really wanna make sure that we're in alignment. So almost imagine as if we had a pole or a string from the very, very top of our skull. We'd wanna pull it all the way through to our spine, all the way down our hips, okay? So I really want you guys to make sure that you're in this perfect alignment. If you guys are sitting down, if you actually sit at the edge of your chair, it'll make things a lot more easy for you guys to sit in perfect posture, okay? So posture, very key. Breathing is key. The last two things that I really want you guys to do is drink water, okay? You have about 2 minutes here. So if you can, go run and get some water, come back, okay? And the other thing is I really want you guys to visualize the muscles. Even though you guys are not maybe aware of all of the different facial muscles, we've got 43 of them, don't worry about it. I'm gonna show you some of the muscles. And even again, if you don't, or if you're not familiar with the anatomy, which you're likely not, don't worry about it. Just visualize the area and really see if you can focus on the sensation. What I want more than anything for you guys to take away today is the sensation of what it feels like to actually isolate these different facial muscles, okay? So we're just about to get started, but before that, I wanna give you guys a little bit of inspiration with a few before and after photos because I always find them really motivating and it kind of gives you another reminder of why you're here and what we're doing, okay? So this first picture is a picture of Ragnar. So as you can see, her main concern was her double chin. This is after 4 months of consistent work. Notice that not only has her double chin almost entirely diminished, but look how much her cheeks have raised. And also look at her neck. Look how much firmer her neck is. You see these little lines that are created over here? We're calling it the tech neck these days. And again, it's from people constantly looking down at their phone. So this being cognizant of posture is not a joke, okay? Really start paying attention to it. This is Tina. A lot of people ask me when they see this picture, how is it that the actual complexion has changed so much? Because you can see how glowy she is here. She almost has a bit of a gray hue here, and then here she's just got fantastic complexion. So I'm gonna explain why. And the reason is blood circulation, okay? So this is a thermographic image of what it looks like to practice face yoga for quite literally a minute. Okay, so this is just doing one exercise. This is before, and this is after 60 seconds, the same pose practiced 3 times, okay? I also want you to notice though with Tina, not only is she super glowy, but look how much her neck is elongated. Look how much less tension she has around her face, around her lips, around her mouth. Sorry, I see that this is a bit of a reflection that it's catching as well, but I think you guys can see it for the most part. Just a few more pictures. This is Julia. Julia is in her late 40s. And again, this is after 4 months of consistent exercise. And it really is consistent. Her main concern was her eye area. You can really see how much they've opened up in the after photo. And of course, her jowls. So as we age, as I said, what happens is the skin begins to sag, right? Gravity comes along and we're not doing anything for this area. So you can see her concern was the jowls right here at the sides. And this is after 4 months, again, of consistent work. And people ask me all the time, you know, well, how consistent is consistent? Just like you would work out the muscles in your body to make sure that they are maintaining tone and fit, we want to do the exact same regimen for the face, okay? A lot of people ask me if there's anything else that face yoga is good for. Face yoga is extremely therapeutic. Sorry, so I've just brought this up and pulled it down. I'm going to explain why. So face yoga is not only beneficial aesthetically, it has a lot of therapeutic benefits, okay? It's fantastic for helping with migraines and headaches, fantastic for helping with TMJ, a clenched jaw, to really help to release that tension. And then this is what it looks like after 5 weeks of Choi, is her name. She had Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy is a virus, and generally what happens is half of your face becomes paralyzed, okay? So this is after 5 weeks. You can see in the first week, she could barely smile, and by the 5th week, she finally gets her full smile back, okay? And then last but not least, this is my favorite photo to show because this really gives you an idea of what an entire year of face yoga looks like, okay? So this is Anna right before she started face yoga, okay? Sorry, I'm doing my best with the photos here. This is 7 months later, and this is 1 year later, okay? So pay attention to how much has improved around the eye area, right between the eyebrows, right across the forehead. Look around the mouth area. See how much tension has been released. And again, this is a year later, okay? So I love to show that as my last one, my last photo, because I find it really inspirational. But also it's a reminder that face yoga is not an overnight fix. It's really not. If you want something that is overnight, face yoga is not the thing for you. However, if you're somebody that understands and appreciates holistic healthcare, then face yoga is the thing for you. It's all that it takes is consistency and practicing the poses correctly, just like any other form of facial exercises. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, so the first exercise that we're gonna do is called the chest opener, okay? And again, if you guys have sort of moved back, you know, towards the back of your seat or the chair, you're noticing you're slouching, come forward, sit on the edge of the seat, sit on the edge of the couch. Make sure that your shoulders are down, okay, and that your chest is open. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to show off my chest area here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. All right, so the first exercise, watch me first and then we'll do it together, okay? What I'm gonna do, this is called the chest opener. And the purpose of this exercise is to really open up the chest space because a lot of the time when we're on the computer, everything is hunched forward. So we really wanna keep things open. And the reason that we wanna do this is also to allow the blood circulation to come all the way up to our neck and into the facial muscles, which is the ones that we're trying to stimulate right now, okay? So this is how it works. What we're gonna do, hands are on our shoulders, okay? I'm gonna take a breath in, and as I breathe in, I'm gonna bring my elbows together, and I'm gonna bring them all the way up until they won't come together anymore, and I'm gonna exhale as I squeeze my shoulder blades. And I'm realizing this was the worst shirt to wear for this particular exercise. So again, what I'm doing is I'm breathing in, bringing my elbows all the way up until they won't come together anymore, and then I'm gonna exhale as I squeeze, okay? So we can start doing this together. Let's do about 3 or 4 of them. So breathing in here, and exhaling as you squeeze those shoulder blades. I want you to imagine almost as if you've got an orange between your shoulder blades and we're trying to make orange juice. So really, really squeeze, good. Make sure you're still breathing. So inhaling on the way up, good. And exhaling as you squeeze. Let's do one more for good measure. So coming up, let's make the biggest one yet. Oh, nice, and squeeze, good. Shake it up, good. Take a moment just to feel how open your chest space feels and perhaps how much more space you have, well, what it feels like for me as I feel like I have more space in my lungs, okay? So again, I just want you guys to keep this posture as best as you can throughout the entire workshop, and not just for the workshop, but while you're on your own as well, okay? So the next exercise that we're gonna do is called the head massager. This is a phenomenal exercise for those of you that have migraines and headaches, but also for those of you that have those stubborn lines across the forehead. So this muscle that we're working with is the occipiter frontalis muscle. This muscle connects from right above your eyebrows all the way to the base of your skull. So if you kind of just bring your hands all the way to the base of your skull, you'll notice where the base of your skull and your neck connect, okay? So that's actually where this muscle ends, okay? So for those of you that, again, are on computers all day or that are hunched up, you have your shoulders up for long periods of time, likely this particular muscle is very, very tense, okay? So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do an exercise to release the tension in this area. Watch me first and then we'll do it together. So fingers are interlaced. I'm gonna rest them right at the crown of my head. And again, this is good for migraines, also good to get rid of the wrinkles across the forehead, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna relax my arms, okay? And I'm just gonna relax them. So when I say relax them, I just want you to have the weight of your arms just resting on the crown of your head. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually move your entire scalp back and forth 10 times. Now, if your shoulders are up here and you're trying this, your occipiter frontalis muscle will not move, not properly. So keep your shoulders relaxed and we're gonna start together. So let's start moving our scalp back and forth 10 times. Good. Good. And if you can even take a moment to close your eyes here and feel that sensation of the heat that's being released in the top of the scalp. Good. Excellent. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move side to side. So I want you to keep that same motion of rhythm exactly. And we're just gonna go 10 times side to side. And we're really moving this entire scalp here. And I want you guys to really take the time, again, to close your eyes if you need, to really feel that stimulation of heat. Good. The last part of this is we're going to keep these fingers interlaced and we're gonna put them right on our forehead, making sure that our shoulders are not coming up, okay? And then we're gonna, again, do up and down 10 times, just like this. Good. And if you can, again, close your eyes. I know you might feel inclined to watch me, but the reason I'm telling you to close your eyes for just a second is because I want you to focus on the sensation and feel the actual heat that's being stimulated. That's the blood circulation. Good, excellent. And stop and just take a moment here, close your eyes, and just take a moment again, just to see if you can actually feel that sensation, okay? Excellent. And I'm just getting a gauge of how messy my hair is at the same time. Okay, so hopefully that was exercise that felt really good for you. It should feel very, very, very relaxing. The next exercise that we're gonna do is the acupressure push for the forehead. This is one of my favorite exercises and was my go-to when I first started practicing face yoga to help me get rid of that very strong line that you can see I no longer have. So this is how it works, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna use our knuckles. We're gonna use our ring finger, our middle finger, as well as our index, okay? Now, it's very important that you actually use your knuckles. I don't want you using this flatter part, no. I want you to actually use your knuckles, okay? So watch me first and then we'll do it together. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna put my knuckles right on my forehead, okay? I'm gonna take a breath in here. I'm gonna make sure my shoulders are not coming up, okay? So shoulders are relaxed. And then on my exhale, I'm gonna apply pressure and I'm gonna pull all the way out to my temples. What I don't wanna do is I don't wanna pull all the way down. Why? Because I'm pulling my face down, I'm pulling my eyelids down. I don't wanna do that, okay? So the correct form is taking a breath in. You're gonna rest those knuckles right on your forehead and then you're gonna exhale and pull out, okay? So let's do that 3 times together, okay? Actually, let's do it 5 times because, want it to feel good. Make sure you guys feel the sensation. Again, if you can, take a moment to close your eyes and absorb yourself into the sensation, okay? So let's take a breath in here. Good, rest those knuckles right on the forehead, good. And as you exhale, you're gonna apply pressure and pull all the way out to your temples, good. Let's do that again a few more times. So breathing in and exhaling as you pull out, good. Making sure your shoulders are not coming up here, that you're still breathing, and also that you're applying just enough pressure that you feel some kind of a sensation, okay? It might not feel very, very, very comfortable. It might feel like a little bit of discomfort. You've got some tension in the area that's being released. That's perfectly normal. Let's do one more. Breathing in And exhaling as you pull out. Good. Just take a moment here and actually close your eyes. I'm going to do the same. And the reason that we take a moment and close our eyes between each of the exercises is because I want you guys to, again, take the moment to feel what it feels like to absorb that sensation, to feel what it feels like to release that tension. Okay, very good. The next exercise that we're going to do is called the Detox, okay? So normally with my intro workshops, because this is the first online one, and please sip water if you haven't already. So there is an exercise that I generally do with my very first intro workshop, or with all of my intro workshops, but I can't see you guys, so we're not gonna do the experiment. But if you guys have a camcorder, like a camera on your computer, or if you're on your phone right now, I want you guys to pull it up for a second. We're gonna play, but you're still gonna watch me as well. A lot of the times what happens is we're using our muscles so unconsciously. And the thing is often people think that they know how they're using their face, but most of the time they're not, okay? So what happens is when I do this particular experiment, which I'm gonna explain to you, generally people lift their eyebrows. So the experiment is I get everybody close to their eyes and then I get them to open them up as big as they can. But the trick that I trick them with is that they don't realize that they don't actually use their orbicularis oculi. They're not actually using their eye muscles. What ends up happening is instead of opening their eyes like this, they open their eyes like this, which doesn't actually do much. You're just using your forehead. You're not actually using your eyes, okay? So for this exercise, it's called the Detox, okay? And the purpose of the exercise is to really sort of get rid of any toxins, but more than anything, it's also to really help us to engage all of the facial muscles, okay? So what we're gonna do, some people call it in yoga the lion face. So this is what it's gonna look like, okay? You're gonna take a deep breath in. It's gonna look really funny. You're gonna stick out your tongue as big as you can, and you're gonna say, and you can totally laugh at yourself. In fact, if you're not laughing at yourself, then you're not practicing properly, okay? So the biggest thing though for this exercise is I want you guys to actually try to keep your eye muscles open without lifting your forehead, okay? So the first part would be to just try and get the eyes open. And then you're gonna say, take a deep breath in and say, okay? Really making sure that we're not lifting the eyebrows. We're gonna do that 3 times. And again, take a look on your cell phones, or if you're near a mirror, take a look at your mirror and pay attention. If you notice that your eyebrows are lifting, stop the movement with your hand. I want you to actually physically stop the movement, okay? So again, I'm gonna take a deep breath in here, and we're gonna open up our eyes big without moving the forehead, and we're gonna say, good. Let's do it 2 more times. So taking a breath in here, and opening those eyes wide, and excellent. Let's do it 1 more time. I even have to laugh at myself doing this. Okay. So taking a breath in here. That's going to be our last one. Opening up the eyes wide and excellent. So with this exercise, it might seem really, really silly, but what we're doing is we're quite literally waking up all of the facial muscles. So we're waking up the eye muscles, we're waking up the cheek muscles right in here by doing this. We're also working the tongue muscle, which is in direct correlation with the neck area, okay? So this is a fantastic exercise. First thing in the morning, if you're feeling really exhausted, it'll actually just stimulate a bit of blood circulation for you and wake up some of those facial muscles, okay? So the next exercise that we're gonna do is a fundamental face yoga exercise, and it's called the Big O, okay? The purpose of this exercise is to really stimulate blood circulation. So we have that beautiful color and complexion, but it's also a fantastic exercise to actually diminish the nasolabial fold. So right over here, okay? So these are the muscles that we're actually working with right over here, okay? So the cheek muscles. Now, watch me first carefully, and then we're gonna do it together. There are 2 steps to this. The first step is just dropping into a Big O. So when I say drop into a Big O, the reason I say drop is because I want you to drop your jaw. So this is what a dropped jaw looks like. Okay, very relaxed. Even if you try yawning, It was actually on. Okay. You'll see that your jaw drops naturally. Erica's on my other side, also yawning. It drops naturally. So what I really don't want you to do is to overextend your jaw. If you're doing this, way too much tension, especially for those of you that have TMJ or a clenched jaw. Really be cognizant that you're not overextending your jaw. So this is a very, very subtle movement. So I just want you to think about almost elongating the lower half of your face and just keeping a long O shape, just like this. Oh, see that? Oh, okay. So what I'm feeling here is a little bit of a resistance, a little bit of a stretch between the tip of my nose and the top of my lip. Okay, good. So just hold there for a second. And if you're not feeling anything, push your top lip towards your teeth. Really make sure you can feel a bit of a stretch between the tip of the nose and the top of the lip. Good. Hold and breathe here. Good. Just feel that stretch for a moment. Okay? Good. Come out of the pose. The second part of this pose, okay? And I only really want you to do the second part of this pose if you know that you're doing it without wrinkling your forehead, okay? A lot of these face yoga exercises require us to relax certain muscles while we hold and isolate others, okay? But again, you have to have had a little bit of training. So for those of you that get this, good on you. There will be a few of you, or quite a few of you, that will not. So I just want, for those of you that can't get it, to just do this. And for those of you that can, this is the second part of the movement. So the second part of the movement is this. All I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly look up without wrinkling my forehead. If I'm wrinkling my forehead, again, I want you to just stop, and you can either use your hand or stop and don't look up and just do the big O, okay? But if you can, and you know that you're not wrinkling your forehead, this is what I want you to do. I want you to look all the way up to the ceiling, okay? I want you to drop into the big O. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to try to squint your eyes. So it's going to look pretty hideous, okay? I'm warning you right now. But you'll look fantastic after. So when I say squint, when you're looking up, what you're trying to do is you're trying to lift your lower lids up, okay, like this. Okay, so when I look up, watch me. And we're gonna hold for 10, okay? For those of you that are crinkling up your eyebrows or crinkling up your forehead, again, either use your hand to stop it, or don't worry about looking up entirely and just do the O shape. Okay? For the sensation, I want you guys to focus on feeling it between the tip of your nose and the top of your lip. As well, you might also find it from the corners of your eye all the way to the corners of your lip, because what happens is when we look up, squint while we pull down with our mouth, we're actually creating an opposing stretch. So our eye muscles are looking up, pulling this part up, and then the cheek muscles are pulling down. So we're kind of pulling away from each other. So you might feel a bit of a stretch between the eyes and the cheeks. Okay, so let's try this together. So first thing I want you to do, if you can, is just look up to the ceiling without crinkling your eyebrows. Again, if you're crinkling them, leave it behind. Leave crinkling your forehead. Now what I want you to do is drop into the big O. So drop that O. Good. Feel that stretch. And now while you're still looking up, I want you to squint your eyes like this. And I want you to hold for 10. And I'm going to count. Keep breathing. For 8, 7, keep breathing through your nose. And if you're laughing, that's okay as well. Just come back to it. Good. For 4, 3, 2, and release. Good. Take a moment here. Close your eyes. And just take a moment to feel if you can, again, feel that blood circulation, a little bit of that heat that was stimulated. Okay? Let's do that one more time to make sure you get this exercise. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look up if you can. So you're looking up to the ceiling without moving the eyebrows. You're going to drop into the big O, and then you're going to squint your eyes. We're going to hold for 10, and it should look like this. And hold and breathe. Keep going for 8, 7. Keep breathing through the nose. 6, 5. You're doing so well. We only have a little bit longer. For 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes. Good. Just take a moment here to feel that sensation. So if you don't feel too much right now, that's okay. This is the very first time you've ever done face yoga. It's probably the first time you've ever tried to isolate your facial muscles this way. So if some of you are not feeling what you think that you should be feeling, that's okay. You can also ask questions, and we'll get to those at the end of the end of the workshop. But whatever sensation it is that you feel, I just want you to actually take a moment to feel it. And again, if you're not feeling anything, it's just because you're starting to learn how to actually isolate these particular facial muscles. Okay, so the next exercise that we're going to do is one of my favorites, and it's called the Swan Neck. Now, this is a particularly good exercise for the jowls right here. Okay, so the jowls, again, the main reason essentially is gravity, okay, and a loss of collagen and not using these muscles properly. So this muscle, platysma, connects from your jaw all the way to your collarbone. It's a huge, huge muscle. Again, so keep in mind, every time you're looking down at that phone, you are not doing these muscles justice. Bring your phone up here. Bring it to eye level. It might look a little silly to other people. Doesn't matter, okay? So the exercise goes like this. The Swan Neck is to really, really help with, again, the jowl area. And this is one of the main exercises that Ragnar did, okay, for this area. So watch me first, and then we're gonna do it together. The most important thing here is that we are not turning our whole body, okay? So when I say look to the right, be very cognizant that you're not moving your shoulders. So shoulders are center, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just look to the right, and then I'm gonna lift my chin up at 45 degrees. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pucker my lips out as far as I can. I'm gonna hold for 10 seconds like this. Okay, and I'm gonna hold for 10. When you're really pushing your lips out as far as you can. I want you to imagine your crush or your husband or your kid, whoever it is you want to think about, is across the sea, and you're trying to connect lips with them, okay? Same thing on the opposite side. So all you're going to do is you're going to look to the left, we're going to come up at 45 degrees, and we're going to pucker our lips and push them out as far as we can like this. You should feel right here engage, okay? Right here. If you're not feeling it engage and you're feeling something at the back of the neck, it most likely means that you've got a bit of a tight neck. So for those of you that are having a really, really tight neck and shoulders right now, you may not be able to lift up at 45 degrees. Don't worry about that. If you can't, okay, or if it bothers your neck at all, just moving right to left, I want you to skip this exercise entirely. But if you can just move your head to the right or to the left, the modification for those of you that whose neck, jaw, or shoulders are a bit tight is I just want you to look to the right. Okay, again, shoulders are center. So you're looking to the right, and you're just gonna pucker your lips out. Okay, same thing to the left. Okay, for those of you that can, I want you on the 45-degree angle. All right, let's try this again. So first, we're sitting straight. Again, if you need to reposition, make sure you're on the edge of your chair. I just need to do that for myself as well. Okay, perfect. So first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to our right side. Right or left is whatever you wanna do is fine. So first, we're gonna look to the right. Again, our shoulders are not moving. We're gonna look up at 45 degrees if you can, and then you're gonna push those lips out. Ooh, really pucker them. Ooh, and push them as far as you can. And we're gonna hold here for 10. Feel that stretch to the side of the neck. Good, keep breathing. Keep breathing, feel that stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back to center. Good job. Let's do the other side. So we're looking the opposite side now. You're gonna tilt up at 45 degrees only if you can, and you're gonna push those lips out. Really purse them. Ooh, yeah. Give me a kiss. Ooh, push. Hold for 10. Keep breathing. And again, feel that stretch to the side of the neck. Keep breathing and hold. Keep pushing those lips out. Really push them out. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and come back to center. Excellent. So we're going to do that one more time just to make sure you guys have this exercise in the bag. Okay. So again, if you need that modification, just don't forget, just don't lift up at 45 degrees. So again, let's try it at the right side. So again, just looking to the right, keeping the shoulders straight. Okay. You're going to lift up at 45 degrees and then really pucker those lips. I want you to imagine as if you're really kissing somebody, quite literally across the sea, and keep pushing those lips out. Use those lip muscles. Keep pushing and keep breathing for 4, 3, 2, feel that stretch. Give it another 2 seconds. 3, 2, and come back to center. Excellent. Let's do the opposite side one more time just to make sure things are even. Good. Tilting up again at 45 degrees. Puckering those lips out. Good. And really, really push. Making sure that you're still breathing throughout this exercise. Keep pushing and really feel that stretch to that neck. If you're not feeling it at the side of the neck, make a bit of an adjustment and see where it is that you can feel that sensation. Good. And for 3, 2, and come back. Good. How did you like that exercise? Hopefully you loved it. The next exercise that we're going to do is back to the big O. Oh, why? Anybody have any ideas? The reason is because when we do the swan neck, what happens is this. What's happening around my lips? I'm creating smoker's lines, okay? So we always want to do counteracting poses, okay? So after you do the swan, you can do one of 2 things. You can do the big O, or you can smile, okay? I prefer the big O because I feel it gives a bit more of a stretch. So just do the big O. Good. And if you can, I want you to look up to the ceiling again and squint your eyes. And breathe for 10. Good. Excellent. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Good job. Okay. So we're going to do a bit of a cool down now, and then we're going to jump into any questions that you guys might have. Okay. So we're going to do a really quick cool down. This is called the Into Lift Me Up, one of my favorite exercises. It's a great exercise first thing in the morning. Also gives the upper face a bit of a lift, which is bonus. So this is what it looks like. You're going to put your thumbs at the crown of your head. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your shoulders relaxed. You're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe in, you're going to pull your entire upper face up with the rest of your fingers. So you're breathing in here. You're going to flatten out your hands when they come to the top of your scalp, and then you're going to exhale as you flatten your hands and come down the side of your neck, down the side of your rib cage, all the way down your side body and out down the sides of your hips. Okay, so let's do that 3 times. So starting with the thumbs right at the crowns. Good. Taking a breath in here and pulling the upper face up. Good. Flattening out those hands and exhaling as you come down the side of your neck. Good. Down the side body, down the sides of your ribs, and down. Good. Let's do that one more time. Just be cognizant when you do this that you're not coming down your face. I don't want you to pull your face down ever. Coming down your neck. Okay. So starting here. Good. Taking a breath in. Good. Pulling that upper face up. We're going to flatten out those hands, coming down the sides of our ears, down the sides of our neck. Good. All the way down the side body and out. Good. Now, we're going to do tapping for about 2 minutes. This is not EFT whatsoever. This is just body tapping. And the reason for it is it really helps to calm our nervous system. Okay. And we could all use a little bit more of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from the crown of our head. Now, you can freestyle this or you can follow my guide. I suggest for you in moments to close your eyes just so you can really feel the sensation. But if you want to keep your eyes on me, you're welcome to as well. All right. So we're starting here at the crown. I just want you to bring that tapping all the way to the base of your skull, right at the very back, where your head and your neck interconnects. And just take a moment here to tap. We tend to carry so much tension in this area. Good. Bring that tapping back again to the top. Then we're going to come right onto the forehead. And I want you to tap first at the middle of the forehead. And then I want you to bring that tapping all the way out to the sides, right where your temples are. And just tap here for a moment. And again, in the moments where you are in the places that you feel a little bit of extra tension or it feels like extra good to be doing this tapping, just spend a little extra time there, okay? Keep tapping. I want you to bring that tapping right underneath your eyes. And I want you to start at the innermost corners. And I want you to start bringing that tapping all the way out again towards your temples. Good. And then from your temples, I want you to keep tapping and come down over your cheekbone right to where that jaw joint is. And just tap here. Whew. Whenever I tap here, I always feel a funny sensation in my eye. So just take a moment here. relax your jaw. We have a tendency, especially for those of us that have TMJ or that have a clenched jaw, to really carry a lot of tension in this area. So just take a couple extra seconds here if you need to. Good. And then what I want you to do is bring that tapping right onto the jaw and then right onto the chin. Good. And just tap with the chin for a few seconds here. Good. Again, this is an area, particularly for women, men as well, that we have a tendency to carry a lot of tension. Often when we refrain from showing our emotions, you know when you're a little kid and you do this, and you kind of tighten up your chin because you don't want to express yourself and you're trying to hold those tears back? Well, that can also often happen as adults, and we tend to carry a lot of tension in this area. Let's bring that tapping right on to above the top of the lip. Good, right between the nose. Good, keep going. Then you're gonna bring that tapping again right out to the sides of your cheeks, right back to that jaw joint. Good, and just tap here for a few seconds. And then when you're ready, you can tap right on to your jaw, right onto the jaw at the very back here. Good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start bringing that tapping right onto the side. You can do your front if you want as well of your neck. Start tapping right onto the chest, right into the center space. Excellent. And then keep tapping all the way out into your armpits. And I want you to actually tap right here. And this is really going to stimulate lymphatic drainage. If you've ever been for a really good sort of hardcore European or some Asian facials, lymphatic drainage is often a part of it. Okay. And I want you to keep tapping down your rib cage. And then I want you to actually bring that tapping all the way around your rib cage to the back ribs, and then right down to your low hips and low back. Good. Bring that tapping now around the front of your hips and come right to your pelvis. Tap here just for a few seconds. And then I want you to take a moment and tap right onto your thighs. Good. I'm going to get you guys to close your eyes just for a second here. And I'm going to count to 10. I'm going to slow. And I want you to slow down from 10 all the way to 1. When you get to 1, coming to a full stop. So you're tapping here, just the rhythm becoming slower and slower as I count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And when you're ready, you can turn your hands up and just take a moment here. Take a moment to feel if you can feel some different sensations that you weren't feeling before, potentially in your face, potentially feel just a little bit more relaxed than you did when you first joined on this webinar. I'm looking at the time, and I think that that the YouTube and Instagram cuts off at a certain mark, and I want to make sure that I can get in any questions. So I'm going to take any questions now. So for those of you that have any, please let us know. And Erica, are we seeing anything on there?
Yeah, we have actually a combination of some Instagram, but we also had questions coming in through the Eventbrite as people knew we were hosting the seminar. So one of the questions we got was, how do you know which exercises to do? Because apparently there are something like 70 exercises. Yeah.
So that's a really good question. There are more than 70 facial yoga exercises. And the truth is the only way you would really know what exercises to do is either if you came for like a one-on-one coaching session, or if you have particular areas of your face that you know you want to work on. That's a start. But the thing is first of all, I'd really have to see your face to give you that answer. The truth is because we hold tension in different ways, and the ways our muscles respond are also very different from face to face. Again, depending on the tension that is being held in particular facial muscles. So in answer to that question, the best way to know what facial exercises to do genuinely, and this is not like a salesy thing, is genuinely to get a coach. So for those of you that are interested in one-on-one coaching, you can DM me on Instagram at Face Yogi. It's Face Yogi with 2 I's, or you can check out my website at faceyogarenew.com.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Samantha on Instagram asks, how long is a good session to have, and is doing it daily necessary?
Okay, so your sessions will vary depending, like on how many exercises you have, and how many exercises you have will vary based on how many areas of the face that you're working on. In regards to practicing, face yoga is certainly a daily practice. Kind of like working out, if you want to take a day off once a week, that's fine. But generally speaking, let's say if you were to go really hard for the next 3 weeks, and then you completely stop for another 3 weeks, you're going to see the muscles fall back into the place that they were. So certainly daily practice is key.
We have another question that came in on our Instagram. How does this compare to other exercises like facial, gua sha, or jade rolling?
It doesn't compare. They are fantastic hand in hand. Okay. So gua sha as well as rolling is all about releasing tension. That is the focus of gua sha, as well as to stimulate the blood circulation. Facial exercises does all of those things. So it actually stimulates the blood circulation. It actually releases tension in the muscles. And on top of that, what it does for you that the gua sha and the rollers don't do is it quite literally lifts and tones the muscle. So it can actually give you a natural facelift. The gua sha doesn't do that. It just smooths things over. It doesn't lift the muscles.
Amazing. How long does it take to start seeing results after you begin face yoga exercises?
Excellent question. If you've been practicing consistently, you should start seeing changes within 4 to 6 weeks. Depending on the face, generally we're seeing something happen in 28 days, but usually by the 6-week mark, we're certainly seeing changes that we can actually measure.
Why is it that you see such a profound difference in people's faces when they start doing face yoga, even though it's skin and different things sitting on top of the muscle?
Well, the first thing is that we're stimulating so much blood circulation. So it's not really common for people to be doing facial exercises. So that's probably the biggest reason. Like there's been a bunch of times that there's a workshop that I do called Glow. It's about getting an instant glow. And people are always shocked at how differently they look from coming into the workshop to after. So the first thing is how much blood circulation is actually stimulated. The second thing is, can you answer that question? Ask that question one more time. Sorry.
When there's tissue and skin on top of the muscle, why do you see such profound results?
The reason that you're seeing such a profound result is because we're actually working with the muscle. And as you know, the muscle and the tissue and everything is completely connected. So when we start actually working with isolating the muscles, everything else is inevitably affected.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That looks like all the questions we have from our Instagram Live. Do we have any on our Facebook Live coming in for you?
Okay. So Saran, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name properly. You can reach out to me. You can reach me on my Instagram. You can DM me at Face Yogi. That's Face Yogi with 2 I's. So FACEYOGII. Hello. You can also find me at faceyogarenew.com. Renata, great question. What is the proper position of the tongue while doing Big O? The tongue is really just hanging out. You don't want it touching the top of the roof. I just want it to be rested on the palate of just rested, just in a resting position. How many reps should we do? Heather, I'm not sure which particular exercise you're referring to, but generally speaking, we want to do 3 reps of any exercise that we do. Yeah. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. We're about to close off. You guys have all been fantastic. I cannot wait to see you. I'm going to leave you with Erica. We just want to make sure we're getting everything in for timing.
Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. It's been an amazing session. Again, you can find Sophia on all of her social medias. If you're looking for more information from Consonant Skincare, you can check us out on our Instagram at Consonant Life, as well as check out consonant.com for all of our amazing award-winning products. And you can also find more information about health and wellness at consonant.com as well. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.